Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Wear Many Hats. I'd like to welcome you all here today. Absolute pleasure to have you turning your ears on and listening to our content. As ever, please like, follow and share the podcast across the mediums where you listen to it, particularly LinkedIn. We're trying to grow the exposure for the facilities management industry, and we need your help to do it. So keep liking, keep sharing, and keep following. Anyway, I've got a really interesting show for you here today. We are once again going international. So I would like you to welcome Syed Waseem, who has spent the last 10 years operating as a facilities management professional in Dubai, and has now come to the UK and he's been here approximately 12 months. Hello, Syed. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Yeah, really good, mate.
Amazing. Thank you for the introduction. It's been great, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah. As you just started, like 10 years in Dubai, now in London, enjoying it.
Yeah.
And we are entering to a nice weather as well. So yeah, so far so good. Great.
I don't know about nice weather.
The winter one, everybody says winter is coming. So yeah.
It is. It's like Game of Thrones in England
Exactly.
all the time, isn't it, to be fair? Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us, Syed. It's going to be a really interesting show because can't wait to learn a little bit more about your career and about how things operate in Dubai. So let's start there. Tell us a little bit about your career and how you came to become a facilities management professional.
So my journey with property management and facilities management started back in 2012 and 13,
right?
When I first went to Dubai. I was lucky enough to start my career in Dubai with one of the biggest real estate developer.
Okay.
So they were the real estate developer at that time. My first job with them was in customer service. So I used to manage a project where they were building the offline project, and I used to manage the clients and the owners until the project ready.
So what's that project?
It was in Dubai Sports City. It was high-rise building. It was 25 floors building.
Wow.
Residential with ground floor commercial.
Yeah.
So when I joined them, it was an off-plan. When you say off-plan, means it is under construction.
Yes.
So my role was to manage all the owners who have invested in offline projects, give them weekly updates, monthly updates, letting them know where.
So you were managing the clients, the people that invested in the project.
Exactly.
That must have been challenging.
It would, yes. And knowing the first to be in that industry at that time, a lot of challenging but new learning.
Of course. Yeah.
So,
how old were you then?
I was that time 28, and it was great time,
Yeah. So quite a young man as well to be dealing with such a responsible position.
And new to the city.
Yeah.
So that is time where I started with real estate, to be honest, being customer service. So within my joining to the company, in the next 6 months, we were very fast. A lot of things were coming up in Dubai as well. So we finished that project.
Yep.
And one fine day, my general manager popped into my room and say that, Syed, I have a good opportunity for you. And I was like, I got a promotion, maybe,
Yeah.
And he was like, would you love to manage the project as a property manager? And I was like, okay, because I was at time customer service.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I wanted to be someone, facing the tenants, clients, residential owners, And I was like, without thinking anything, I said yes.
Yeah.
And after saying yes, he was like, all right, then have a meeting tomorrow morning. Have a great day. So when he moved out of the room, and I was thinking like, I said yes quite fast. Let me do my research, because customer service is about understanding the project, giving the update.
Of course.
The property management is entirely different thing.
Yeah.
When you say property management and facilities management, it means you are managing the whole block, the whole building, everything.
Every service, every client.
Exactly. The contracts and everything.
And did you not realize that when you said yes?
No.
No.
Because that time I did not, unless you are not into something, you believe that, it's similar to what we do. But I did not know that property management is a different profession. It has a lot of things to learn. I have done the PMP that time because I was doing projects, Yeah. But then when I said yes, it was a good opportunity for me because I really wanted to become in a professional where I can represent myself growth. And I wanted to switch from customer service. So next day, they understand me that I do not have that background of property management. They went very slow with me.
Yeah.
Because we have a 60 days timeline. To finish our project and welcome our new owners. So that time I did a lot of local courses there back in Dubai from Dubai Land Department.
So did you get involved in the sale of the new properties and things like that as well?
No, I was involved after sales.
Oh, okay.
So what used to happen is that my sales department will sold the properties and then they give us all the information of the owners, not the tenants, right?
Yeah.
And then from there on, we become the face of the company with the investors, the owners.
And was that quite an international group of people? Because being Dubai, I would imagine that nationalities all over the place.
I would say 99.9% were expatriates, international clients.
Right.
So it was fun, to be honest. For example, if someone has an international investor and they are planning to visit and see their property, so the huge thing we used to do, we used to book a car for them, we used to book hotel for them. I used to go with them, with my driver, a chauffeur, going to them, meet them, spending full day with them, showing them the property and across the area as well, to make sure that they are familiar and they're happy. Because when you're an international investor, and some people know Dubai, some people doesn't know Dubai, maybe they're investing first time in the city. So it's your responsibility not only to let them know about your project, but you tell them about the city as well, how it will be, because they are investing to become their home, you know? So it was quite fun, to be honest. And that time, it was a time when I started interacting with a lot of expatriates, a lot of international clients, which give me a lot of exposure.
The other thing is as well, I imagine that because it was a very international group of people, there's different expectations from a cultural perspective. So what one person expects may be very different to what somebody else is. So that must have been quite challenging.
It is, to be honest, because when people of different countries investing in one place, they have seen the rules and regulations and all those things in their country. So a lot of people wanted to say that, oh, in my country, we hand over the property in this way, you know? So we can't say no to them, of course. We used to understand that what are they expecting. I have seen people coming to take over their property with the engineers with them. And we tell them that this is the area, for example, the property is 150 meters or square foot, and they will just become a measuring tape and they really take the size. And we say, you don't need to, because it's all data is already available. They said, no, it doesn't happen in my country, you know? So I will take the measurement. So these things happen definitely. And different way of property management as well. So when you're doing property management in any region, like you're doing in London, there are different local regulations. So this is this way a bit challenging, but interesting to explain them how it works. So that is the place where I started interacting with people and property management. And I started learning about that profession. And I never see back from that time and until now.
So were most people quite receptive to the laws of the land? Because obviously each country has its own laws when buying property. Eventually, were they all okay? Or did you have any really challenging moments which were you like, oh my God, how do I fix this?
To be honest, let's go back where I was doing customer service. So what used to happen is that when you sell the property, now you're asking investor to pay as per the flooring, you know? So you finish 5 levels, then they have a payment plan. When you finish 10 levels, you have a payment plan. So whenever you ask payment with the tenants, clients, owners, you know, so we have to tell them that since you're paying to us in Dubai, what's happening is you're not paying to the developer. You're paying to escrow account, which is governed by the government.
And then it just sits there.
So it's the safest money. It means if a developer doesn't want, they can't do anything because that's controlled by the government. So it makes our job a bit easier as well. So it's very easy to tell them that, okay, no one can run away your money.
They know it's safe.
Yes. Of course, they trust on you. So that's something which we need to explain to them. They were okay with that. And Dubai is pretty much straight, to be honest. So that was something which inspired me. And then working with the contractors and all those things. So it kept me motivating and continuing it.
Okay, really interesting. So how long were you in that role for as a property manager?
So in that company, I was almost for 3 to 4 years. Because initially I was doing the customer service part, and then I started into the property management. And then I full-fledged become a property manager, representing to the developer.
Okay. So did you get any kind of formal qualification whilst you were doing that? Was there something you did over in Dubai that perhaps we don't do here? Or?
Yes, very good question. So when I was doing my projects things, I did my PMP, project management. Now switching to the community association management, because it's a freehold. So in London, it's called block management. Back in Dubai, it is called community association management. So when you are managing different owners jointly on property, there is different courses to be done as well. So there's a course there's a institute called Community Association Institute from US. So there are a lot of certification which is done from them. So one of the basic one is M100, Essential of Community Management. Every property and community manager must do that certification.
Right. Okay.
To understand the local regulation laws and how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
handle and making budgets and everything.
Yeah.
So that was something what's mandatory, which I did back in 2015.
Right.
And then it depends.
How long did that take? Out of interest.
So it's a one-to-one workshop training program. It
Yeah.
takes you 3 complete days.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, with a
Yeah,
trainer
yeah.
on site. So you use 9 hours a day.
Oh, so they kind of shadow you.
So basically, they teach you all the
Yeah.
courses, and then we have an exam after 3 days.
Right. Okay.
You have to pass the exam with 80 plus marks.
Yeah.
And once you qualify,
What did you get?
I get 83.
83. I'd
yeah.
have liked that and said 99.
You know, it reminds me of what teacher used to say that anybody scored 96%
Yeah.
will have a lunch with me at Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
And I was like, who can hit that, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And it was quite difficult, to be honest, but one of a person in our class did it, actually.
Oh,
So
wow.
that used to be surprise for them, because if someone hit 96, 97%, then they have a special lunch. And I was always an average student,
Yeah.
which I always, okay.
Yeah, I'm the
But-
same. I'm academically not, sit me down on an exam and I just immediately get bored. you know?
Exactly. And on top of that, when you're working with a company, so I was lucky enough that my company was sponsoring me for these courses. It's
Right.
quite expensive at that time, you know. So it's that you have to achieve 80%
Mm.
plus company money on stake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you can't go back and say, oh, I can pass, because they are spending time on you, they're spending money on you, so you have double
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But yeah, it was quite interesting.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So where did you go after that role?
So
How did your career
after,
develop?
so my career development started when I was at that company, because that
Yeah.
was a real estate company developer. So they were not the core property management.
Right. Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So at that time, I decided that if I want to pursue a property manager, I need to work with a property management firm, a property management company,
Yeah.
who their niche business is not to develop but to manage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So my next move from there was Etihad Community Management.
Right.
They are one of the premium community management companies back in Dubai.
Yeah.
So they manage.
So is it very similar in terms of how the FM world, property management world operates in Dubai as to what it is here? Or are there differences?
So basically, most or less are same.
Mm.
The basic difference I will tell you is that in Dubai, all the regulations are managed by one entity, Dubai Land Department.
Oh, okay.
So there's one law for all the areas. It's not like about different councils, different
Yeah.
areas. In London, you got different council
Yes.
and different councils, and every regulation you are linked with that council. And
Yeah,
you do all
don't
the
get us
regulation.
started on the planning in the UK. My God.
Yes.
We'll be here for weeks. Don't worry though, Labour are going to fix it apparently.
And they can give you the rates. So this is the major difference, I believe, in both cities.
Yeah.
But the expectations are high, of course.
Yeah.
Here people understand more. As we discussed earlier about investments in Dubai,
Yeah, of course.
expectation level from different people are very high.
Yeah.
So the service quality has to be up to the notch.
Yeah. So you moved into a more property management
Yes,
focused business.
yes.
So what role did you take up then, and how did that develop for you?
So the role I took there was a property manager,
Mm.
because that time it was my first job in a property management company
Yeah.
as a property manager.
Yeah.
So I started there as a property manager.
Right.
And there my role was to handle clients, to make sure that we are managing their building on their behalf,
Yeah.
managing associations, preparing the budgets,
Mm.
doing the tendering process for the facilities management companies.
Right.
So
okay.
in Dubai, property manager hire the contracts for the facilities management,
Yeah.
for the management of communal area, cleaning.
So similar to over here then, in
exactly.
that sense. Yeah.
It's same. It's same. Here it's called block management, you know.
Yeah.
So that role give you more authorization and the power, because you are the person who's managing the budgets,
Mm.
and you're getting the approval directly from the owners from that property.
Right.
You're no more part of the developer.
Yeah.
So it becomes challenging in the sense that you are not managing the property which you own. As a developer, you are the owner.
Yeah.
But here you have to be on the top minimum service
Yeah.
to make sure that you manage client as well.
Yeah.
So that gave me a lot of learning, to be
So
honest.
you're managing up and you're managing down.
Yes,
effectively.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the service expectation got high.
Mm.
Because you have to manage your clients, you have to be ensure that okay, you are up to the mark with the service, and so that is how I become property management in this industry.
Yeah.
So then I grew working with them, understanding about the regulation more. To be honest,
Yeah.
I was no more hiring third parties as a property manager, because I was managing the service my own.
Yeah.
And then meeting different people, and then learning more technical about the process when you are tendering is called RFP, a request
Yeah.
for proposal. You're sending because there's a requirement
Yeah.
You need to tender to minimum 3 companies to 5 companies.
Yeah.
And then when you deep down as a property manager, then you understand the technical things as well. Tendering process and all those things. So it was back in 2016 and 17.
Yeah.
And now time runs fast. It's already 7-8 years now. Huh? It's great. It's great.
So I'm guessing you were in Dubai during COVID and not.
Yes.
How was the reaction to COVID in that environment? Was it different to here? I mean, you might not know what it was like here, but it was quite draconian here. Was it the same over there?
Same over, because I was understanding about here as well, because a lot of my cousins lives here.
Oh yeah, you would have heard. Yeah,
I was because that time what you do communication, because that time everybody was inside the home.
Yes.
Pandemic hits. Yeah. Interestingly, I'll tell you the story because in January we had to visit Sri Lanka that time on my official visit and then holiday visit. So that time when we landed in Sri Lanka back in January, that time was a start of COVID. This thing comes up. No one knew what had going to happen that time.
No. It's pretty scary, wasn't it?
It's pretty scary that time, And then we went back to Dubai after that visit and everything. And I remember that back in March 2020.
Yeah.
One fine day we start hearing about that. Okay, government is making the rules. You can't, you must start working from home and all those things.
Yeah.
And March, the rule came that no one can work from office.
Oh, really?
Everybody will work from home.
So it closed down in the same way it did
Yes, exactly. So everything was closed. Luckily, when COVID hits, actually, I was working with another company. That time it was Kaizen Asset Management.
Yeah.
And it is more into technology sort of thing. Where we were introduced with the technology and everything. So before COVID hit, we had our apps and everything running up. So which helped us to manage our building remotely.
Yeah.
So we were working remotely managing, and
so you didn't have to go in every day then?
No,
we did, because a lot of facilities managers here, they have to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So in our scenarios, we had to have a contractors, and then we were advised to give them the residence place, so they don't have to go back to homes.
Right. Okay.
So we were given the accommodation facilities for in each building for the each staff.
Wow.
For the manager and the supervisors, they can visit every 2-3 days.
Yeah.
But on-site staff, for example, there's a shift. So they come morning 6 o'clock, go back and 9 o'clock, whatever.
Yeah.
But during that time, they were not supposed to go back because of transportation.
Yeah.
So we were to provide them the accommodation.
Okay.
So quite interesting, but challenging thing.
Yeah.
When you need to go to your property, you need to take permission first from the police and the government.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Of course, you fill the form.
Did you have like a little letter that called you a key?
Exactly. Yes. Same
so
letter.
This is very similar then in terms of like what the reaction was here, to be fair.
Yes.
And then did you have to prepare the building when you were finally allowed to go back to make it, safe and all of those things? Did all those regulations come down as well?
Yes. I mean, that time, I think everybody was new to this COVID thing. Every day, new day. Every news is a new news.
Yeah.
So that time, I'm sure here as well, every second day we used to get circular from the government that, okay, you need to put the stickers on the floor for the keep distance. You need to ensure, so you need to ensure that the flooring is clean with this material.
Yeah.
And then Dubai municipality that time gave the checklist of what cleaning material to be used, of what disinfectant to be used, and all those things. So every second day become a new regulations coming up as well.
Yeah.
And the compliance was on top.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do the compliance, there are huge fines and a lot, because that was quite serious.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it was quite a scary at start, but then with the time you understand the things and things goes easy.
Quite a good thing, I think, that, not that it's a good thing, but a good thing to experience early in your career, because you probably learned how to deal with things on the fly, how to react and evolve to evolving situations.
Exactly.
And do you know what I mean? Like in terms of your response,
yes.
what your capabilities were, how you could deal with difficult situations and so on.
And there's another interesting story I'll tell you, because before COVID, I'm sure nobody was known what is Zoom. People don't do the Google Meet so often as well.
Yeah.
So one fine day, and our technology director at that time, he was always technology.
Yeah.
So one day he says, everybody around 40 property managers and all senior managers, that we're going to have a Google Meet, online meeting.
Yeah.
And we never use online meeting. I was like, all right, online meeting. So it was 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And all the team members reached to the head office.
Yeah.
And everybody was looking each other, and what the director of technology says, guys, this is online meeting.
Yeah.
And no one knows how to log in and what is the online meeting is.
Yeah.
And when pandemic hits, it's all online meetings, platforms and everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, the good thing is that we all adopt very fast.
Yeah.
That time.
No, I mean, I remember I was having to do presentations to prospective clients over Teams for tenders that I was invited. It was hard work. It was a very difficult thing to do.
Yes.
To be fair.
Because when you meet a person, there is a different way of meeting them and you understand more, but
there's body language, you get a reaction from an individual when you're face to face. So similar to how we are now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I can see you smile, I can see your reflection, I can tell you if I say something you don't like, that kind of thing. Whereas the video calling is just a bit sanitized, isn't it?
And sometimes there is issue with the networking. Sometimes, these things. So yeah, it happens. But the thing is that sometimes I later on I start enjoying it. Because the travel time was cut down to a minimum. You can just log in from anywhere and do the meetings. Yeah, things are going fast. Yeah, but luckily we were out of this COVID quite fast, unexpectedly, because people were saying that we don't know how many years it's going to happen. Yeah, but then vaccination came and everything. Yeah, and startedly things getting open as well.
Yeah, things got better.
And then we goes back, and then we were hearing about working remotely.
Right.
And then one sudden day, people say, no more remotely.
Yeah, back in. Yeah, get in the office.
Yes, do the attendance. Yeah. So interestingly, but yeah, that good evolution and all those things. But technology that time helps a lot.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we still benefit from the technology now, don't we?
Exactly.
And we all still use it from time to time, which is really beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
To be quite frank, a Teams meeting can be very... it allows you to be quick, dynamic, and efficient.
Exactly.
Especially if you need to get together quickly. It's really beneficial.
And sometimes you're having a meeting where people are joining you from different area, different country, and all those things. So Teams.
And there's always one person that's muted.
Always. And after the meeting, that's we can do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So quite interesting, to be honest. Yeah.
Everyone in shorts and then shirt at the top.
Most of them, to be honest.
It was the era of newsreaders, wasn't it?
Exactly. Some people used to, attending the meeting while driving. So we come a law that, okay, if you're in your car, you don't need to attend the meeting.
Yeah. So brilliant. So how did the opportunity in the UK come about, and how have you found the transition to another country, to a new country?
So last year, we get an opportunity to work here, coming here along with my family. That time when I was spending almost my 10 years in Dubai. Yeah. And before coming to London, I was in Riyadh. Yeah. So I do understand that, okay, I got a good experience in the property management. Yeah. And if I'm going to London, I can utilize my experience.
Yeah, of course.
And understanding the local rules, regulations. So I would be easier to get an opportunity working here.
Yeah.
The feedback from the local friends and cousins were a bit different, to be honest. Yeah. They were saying that you're going to struggle to get the job in your field. So whatever opportunity comes, grab it.
Really? I find that quite surprising, actually. Yes. There's a lot of opportunity.
Exactly. But the reason was that you do not hold the local experience, which was right.
Okay.
So when I come here and I started applying on different roles and everything, I did get a lot of interviews. They acknowledged my experience. But yes, you're right. Because sometimes when you study something on paper, and they ask you the technical questions, because that time I don't know what is HMOs, what is council tax, and all those things. Because
that's fine, because you weren't living here. You weren't experienced. Yeah.
So you can read HMO, okay, house of multiple occupants, but how it works, you don't know until you don't work with that company.
Of course, yeah.
So I was lucky enough to get an opportunity working with the property management industry. Yeah. I got a job right away, and then in 1 year I have learned a lot. Yeah. And I am getting benefit from my experience in Middle East, and especially in Dubai and Riyadh. And now I proudly say that, okay, working in London, property management is something I have been enjoying a lot. Yeah. And before our interview, I was discussing that, okay, this is my plan to stay here and grow from where we are today.
So what would you say the key differences are between the Middle East and obviously the UK in terms of property management, facilities management?
So there are a lot, I would say. Top three would be for me that here there are more regulatory in terms of councils.
Yes, we love a council.
Yes, a lot.
And a Kwangai. Yeah. Might as well have a Kwangai for the sake of a Kwangai. Have a Kwangai for people buying tangerines, another one having bananas, Welcome to the UK.
Yeah,
so bureaucracy.
so that I was like, okay, you have to work closely with councils and all those things, and I was like, all right, so that's something new for me. Second thing is that the detailed certification we got. We have this energy performance certificates, and building evaluations and gas certificates, and all those certifications to be done before you hand over the property.
And is that not done in Dubai?
No, this was not the practicing there, because there are the checks when you hand over the property. There's health and safety checks from the municipality and everything.
Yeah.
And the building is inspected every 6 months.
Yeah.
So the building overall is being checked.
Right.
Here, because here it's each unit wise. So whenever you're handing over a property, each unit, you need to have those certificates for that.
So it's per unit here, whereas in Dubai, it's
whole
just
building.
the whole, right.
Whole
Okay.
building
Well,
with
that
6
makes
months.
sense, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the major differences I found. Second difference which I found was everybody was talking about the rent collection. That's a very topic.
Yeah.
I mean, there you pay in advance, you pay by a check.
Right.
So the collection process is
checks.
Yeah, you pay.
There's still checks over there?
Yeah, post-date checks.
Ooh.
Last year I was reading in Dubai that they have started doing the direct debit.
Yeah.
Like the landlords can get the directly debit from the bank. But before that, people give the checks, PDC checks.
Really?
It's very common practice. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which actually confirms, because when you issue a check to anyone, it has to honor. You can't just.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
to be fair, checks, I mean, I haven't seen a check for a long time.
Yeah.
But, massive when I was growing up. Over the last 20 years, they've really been phased out in the UK. I can't remember the last time I saw one, actually. To be fair.
I mean, 1 year, I haven't seen a single check here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says it all. Yeah.
Exactly. So that gives a bit assurance to the landlord. Okay, I'm gonna get my money.
Yeah.
Here is a bit different.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you are on top of the tenants to make sure they pay rent on time.
Yes.
And if they have any issue in the maintenance, they say, okay, finish this work. I'm gonna. So then everyday bargaining, negotiation.
Yeah.
So that's the difference I found here. Other than that, I mean, the standards remain the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities. We still have international expatriates, a lot of tenants.
Yeah.
So these a lot of similarity as well.
Okay. So what's been the most challenging element of your career so far? What's been the most difficult thing for you to deal with during the last 10 years?
During that last 10 years, there are various events. I would give you a couple of examples. So I will start from the latest one. Yeah. I remember that last year during the Christmas holidays, one of my properties tenants called me and they said they have issue with the leak in the roof.
Right.
And that was not happened before on their property, because when I do the history checks and everything, it was something new comes up, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it was the Christmas holidays. Everybody was on holidays, can't do much, Yeah. And when I spoke to my roofer, he says that we are available after 2 days. And I was like, you are available after 2 days, but my tenant ceiling is leaking, and there's water inside. So that was something comes to me as a surprisingly element, because and again, in the weather, where is the rain? I mean, we need to understand about the contractor side as well. They can't just come and close the leak in the roof in case of rain and everything, So they have to wait certain time.
Yeah.
And I remember that was 4 days consecutive rain happening.
Right.
So that time was a very difficult time for me.
Yeah.
Then what we did was we have to arrange accommodation for them to make sure that, okay, they're happy, they're fine.
Oh, so you had to move them out of the property
because
until the roofers could get in.
Yes.
Yeah,
so luckily the next door property was empty with us. It was furnished.
Yeah.
So we handled the situation. Back in Dubai, there was a challenge happened with me that it was a commercial property.
Yeah.
I still remember it was weekend. And there was on 22nd floor, one of the gentlemen bought whole floor and he did the renovation.
Yeah.
And maybe 6 months ago, they never occupied the office, to be honest. And maybe 6 months ago, someone used their washroom and they did not close their tap properly.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
You got my point. So the water started dripping drop by drop by drop until 5-6 months and they closed all the drainage,
No way.
So, and since they were not operating, so they never bothered to come to the office.
Yeah.
And the water bill was not coming huge for them because it was a drop. Yeah. But all the water accumulated in 6 months. So one fine day, when the water could not go somewhere, it goes to the ceiling to the next floor.
Yeah.
And bosh, water goes to the next floor.
Right.
So it was all 21st floor, it's all water. So that was the biggest thing, because when I got...
So the entire 21st floor flooded?
Flooded. And from there, the water was coming from outside the building to the ground floor as well.
No
so
way.
Because the water needs space to go. So wherever the water, it was all like, oh my God. It's like
it was coming down 21 floors?
Yes, it was crazy. It was crazy. So it was morning 6:30.
Yeah.
And Saturday, weekend. So the
it's always your day off, isn't it?
I don't know why.
Why is there leaks and floods on your day? It's
I think
always your day off.
They know to be coming on the weekends or the evening.
Yeah.
On the office time, they will be very happy.
It's a divine plan, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? I'm worked hard enough this week. Flood,
Yeah, exactly. And even I think sometimes the issues knows, all right, don't disturb them during the daytime. Let's do it on the weekends and the evening,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the hell of the condition, to be honest. But luckily we were able to manage.
Yeah.
What I learned from all these experiences that transparency is the key.
Yes.
So you don't need to buy time saying them the sweet things, because every problem, if someone having a problem, they would love to listen that, okay, my problem will be solved within 5-10 minutes. But if you know the problem is huge, you explain them that no, it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
So that is something I have learned over the past my career, that don't give false hope.
Yeah.
It's better to tell them the reality check.
Completely
and
agree.
Get their angriness. They will say I can't wait 10 hours or 2 days.
Yeah.
But then we have to explain them. It's better rather telling them 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour.
Yeah.
And then you take time.
Be truthful.
Be truthful.
Yeah.
Even
if it's bad news.
Of course.
There's ways to deliver bad news.
This is how it's coming up. Exactly.
Don't lie.
Don't lie.
It just puts you in.
And you have to explain them nicely. You need to explain them very transparently.
Yeah.
But in a nice way.
Yeah. I'm really sorry.
Yes.
But the floor's been flooded. You're all gonna have to move out.
Yes, you
so
have to.
That's it. See you later.
What got? And he was asking, what got happened with my stuff, sir? Are you insured?
Yeah.
And luckily, the office was insured. Because in the office, they must insure themselves as an office part as well. So insurance thing, all those things.
Okay.
But that was a challenging part, but it was good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so what are you most proud of in your career? What's the thing that you look back and you go, I'm really proud of that moment. I did well. I dealt with that well.
I would say that one of the proud moments for me. Let's talk about the pandemic thing.
Yes.
Because I remember we have one resident. She was working for a company, and she was living alone because she was a single mother at that time. And all of this time, it was afternoon when she called, and she said that her daughter was 6 years old at that time.
Okay.
And she said that she was tested positive, and she was caring to go home to handle the daughter, and she had no one. The relative and friends.
So she had no support.
Yes,
whatsoever.
that time.
Okay. Yeah.
So and that time we as a property managers would have to take it further. So we spoke to her. Don't worry about it. We went to her home, take care of her daughter as well. And meantime, she had all her tests done. And that time finally her family friend came and take care of all those matters. So I would say that during that time, all the people in our properties, they would need that touch.
Support,
you can't say that no, I can't go there, I can't. So these small things makes a bit difference. So I think emotionally, I'm proud of ourselves, me and our colleagues in this industry, that they were available right away.
Yeah.
When people were afraid of going to that places because of anything can happen, we were there in front. So that is something I believe I look up and I say that, that's something that's emotional, but proud moment, to be honest.
That's a good thing to be proud of. I think it all boils down to people, doesn't it? In terms of what we do. And I think in any career, in any, it all boils down to people in one way or another.
Exactly. It's a people industry. I would say, I say to everybody who jumped into the property management, facilities management, I would say that it's not 9 to 6 job.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends and cousins are in accounts, marketing, and so they have timings.
Yeah.
But for us, we can be in any family gathering or function, and something comes up, and you have to be available as well.
Yeah.
So we are in the industry which work 24/7.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. We wear many hats.
we wear many hats. Yeah.
Okay, so let's touch on ESG a little bit, environmental, social, and governance.
Of course.
It's a very big thing over here, quite rightly. As well. Is it a big thing in Dubai, or have you had to learn it from the ground up since you came to the UK?
So ESG has always been, if you go to last 5 years, ESG has been the hot topic discussion everywhere.
Yeah.
Because environment come first, sustainability come first. And so a lot of countries are becoming more sustainable because understanding the energy efficiency and all those things.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to understand about ESG back then as well.
Right, okay.
And coming here, it become more compliant because as we discussed about the certificates, when you hand over the property here, you have to give energy performance certificates, you have to give them the ESP evaluation forms and all those things. So I learned more about it coming here as well.
Yeah.
But that plays very important, significant role, not for only the decision makers, but for the environment as well.
Yeah.
Because the more we are sustainable, environmental friendly, less carbon emission products and all those coming up. And I think it becomes a responsibility as a whole. Yeah. Everybody, for us, We are ending to an era where everything becoming electronically good. So same time we have to make sure that we focus on ESGs, carbon minimum as well. We have to be using less papers and all those things to make sure that we are supporting the environment and we are doing our contribution.
Is there anything interesting happening in Dubai with regards to ESG that the UK could learn from?
I would say a lot of things. Initiatives were happening that time in ESG in terms of sustainability. So there is a whole area. I haven't seen something like this here.
Right.
It is called sustainable city.
Yeah.
So this is whole area. You can say here it one council sort of things. So all the area built up on the solar system.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's called sustainable city.
Really?
So they generate their own electricity. They generate their own everything. So the people live in that city, in that area. They don't pay bills.
Yeah.
Because all the electricity is from the solar panels.
Yeah.
So they're highly sustainable, highly efficient.
I don't think you can have it here. There's not enough sun.
So yeah, I mean, and so they are paying and they are having facilities for the resident to do the farming, to more towards the green culture and all those things.
Yeah.
So that is something, a big project, I believe. Would be able to do here as well, something like this. But the challenge here, I would say, is the landscape.
Yes.
Because here, if you go any areas in London, it's packed, it's jam-packed.
Yes.
So
we've squeezed and we've squeezed and we've squeezed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was London, then the Greater London. So these initiatives, because of the rich history of this region, that Dubai and now Riyadh, and there's a lot of Red Sea Global, you can say NEOM.
Yeah.
So these are the new developments. So they could,
because they're building the line as well, aren't they?
Oh, yeah,
isn't that going to be a self-sustaining environment as well?
Yes.
But they've made it shorter now, haven't they? Because it was originally going to be
it is, I believe, 240 kilometers length of that area is huge.
Yes.
I was
it's a big old bugger, isn't it?
It is big. I mean, if you see some of my posts back when I was in Riyadh, there was Expo happens, and I was part of it. And then there was a huge stall for line NEOM. So when I went there, so they were showing on the 4D, so you can feel it how it looks like. In future, they're aiming to finish by 2030. And then you see that how they are managing it, everything in line, and they're gonna have marina ups and downs. So
because they are building it now, aren't they?
Yes, they are. But I
234 kilometers.
It's huge. It's massive.
And they're gonna have it done by 2030. It's 2024 now.
Yeah.
In England, right, we would say, right, we're gonna build this 240 kilometer line. We're going to do it by 2080.
Yeah.
We get to 2080 and then we go, right, we've gone way over budget. Let's go for 2233.
Yeah.
Do you know? that is how, but that's what's fascinating about Dubai, isn't it? The difference. You guys over there, they just get it done.
It has to
there's the plan, the authorization,
yes.
bosh. In England, it's and the UK is complete. It's just so much more difficult.
Exactly. And what I notice is that because is my personal opinion is that there is a lot of investors who are trying to go there, move there. You know, when I was here, like you told me that a lot of people want to go to Middle East, Dubai area, and all those places. So when I come here, people ask me this question. So to make sure that they continue having the investment and the interest internationally, they are trying to make sure that they are competing in a healthier way.
Yeah.
And they're bringing the new ideas every time.
Yeah.
If I discuss with you the story of the line, so the line initially was a circle.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make like a ring road we have, like circular road we have.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make a city in a circle way.
Right.
So one of the architects, they bring the idea that let's make a city in a line.
Yeah.
So they think out of the box.
Oh yeah. That is when I first read that, I was like, no way. There's no way they're doing that.
I still ask how do they do the cleaning in terms of roofing and ceilings, and how
you literally have to have teams on the top constantly.
Of course.
Every 10 kilometers or something, there'd have to be a team of window cleaners.
Yes.
Oh God, we're doing this again.
So it will be quite interesting to see that how things goes exactly. But it's different things happening. Yeah, but they are showing that because
it's so big, isn't it? That it's literally going to have its own atmosphere. I read. So
yes,
its own brain. It's weird. Like they've got loads of really cool stuff going.
They are trying to make sure that and they are saying that from one distance to another distance, it will be 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. You don't have to wait 30 minutes,
What,
2 hours, 3
240
hours.
kilometers in 10 minutes?
Yes, so they are making this transportation system. Still, I can't understand how they're gonna do
Probably
it.
with magnets, I would have thought.
I mean, they are planning something like this because they say that reduced traveling time.
Yeah.
And the ecosystem they are trying to make is great.
It is clever.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
clever.
wait to see it. Actually.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I think it's a very clever thing to do. Hopefully it works. Fingers crossed.
Yes, I mean, in Dubai you can see that the Palm Island they have made.
Yeah.
So it's artificially made Palm Island.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just like a palm.
Yeah.
You know.
It's wicked
So
as well, isn't it?
yeah, it's so what. Trust me, even staying there in 10 years,
Yeah.
I know the ways.
Yeah.
But whenever I used to go to the Palm, I used to keep my Google Map on.
Really?
Yeah, because imagine you have a Google Map and you see, okay, I'm on this palm of the place.
Yeah.
And you find yourself in the center. You know.
Aye.
So it's give you some nice feeling that how can people make this? How
They've got apartments on the things of the park.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So get apartments, they got villa, they got hotels.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's designed like a palm.
Yeah.
So now that Dubai Marina Palm is finished, there's announced another one.
Yeah.
In Jawal Ali, same palm like this, you know.
Wow.
So it's interesting, and a lot of flats and buildings and villas, they get their own rivers, sea, and all those things. So coastal area, so nice.
Yeah. Where do they get the water from in Dubai? I've always wondered that.
Arabian Sea and all those things. So
have they got desalination plants?
yes, so they take
okay.
it from there. So yeah,
Right. Okay. Because they're expensive.
because it's island, you know. So they get and the desert.
Yeah.
And they made things quite. I mean, you think of it, and they make things more sustainable.
Yeah.
And one day you think, okay, it's not possible, and second day it is.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Wicked though. Really exciting. They're doing
It
some
is.
really exciting things.
Yes. So you will never get bored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, without doubt. Okay, so to ask you now, right? I'm all in Dubai at the end of the day. What do you think the future of facilities management will be in the next 5-10 years? Do you think it'll change? Do you think?
A lot. I mean, property management, facilities management, what it was 5 years ago is not the same as now.
No.
And next 5-10 years will be dramatically different.
Yeah.
In terms of the use of technology.
Yeah.
AI. A lot of things are coming, and a lot of things will become automated.
Yeah.
Because so there's a lot of gap, to be honest, where future we see all these things on the futuristic grounds.
Yeah.
But there's huge gaps coming up.
Right.
But I believe that human interaction element will be reduced.
Yeah.
In terms of visits, I remember that I think now it's become a quite normal using drones for the building inspections. But before there was no drone concept.
No.
So you need to have scaffolding to see what's going wrong, or you have to climb above.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're starting to use it a lot for plants, aren't they, on top of roofs? And
Yes,
things like that,
yes.
It's far easier with a drone.
drones. So these are the technology which you could not think 5 years ago.
No.
So I think in next 10 years, the automation will go on a different level. Machine learning, AI, and human interaction will reduce.
Yeah.
Which means that we must ensure that we learn AI things more.
Yeah.
There's a very nice quote I learned somewhere, because I do read a lot of things. So one thing which loves me is that people say that AI will eliminate human, and it says no. AI will not eliminate humans, but AI will eliminate people who don't know AI. So we not be afraid of technology, but we are afraid of not learning technology.
Right.
So people will be replaced by people who are not technologically equipped.
Oh.
So you need to learn AI, you need to learn technology and new trends.
A bit old for that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, all of us, like
I've just figured out PowerPoint.
my son, he's 3 years old. You know, he knows how to operate iPad and mobile.
I'm joking. I'm not IT illiterate. I'm not too bad.
Exactly. Yeah. So the new generation is extremely different.
Do you think we'll look like the Borg from Star Trek? Machine supplements all over.
We could see that now.
Yeah.
Automated cars, auto-driving cars, you can never imagine. I can't risk myself until now.
No, I can't.
If I see a driverless car, I will not say it, even 100 million pounds. I will say, no, I will stay away.
It's bad enough getting in the car when the wife drives.
Of course. Same here.
That was not a sexist joke, by the way. She is actually a bad driver.
So, but yeah, technology is gonna change a lot. It takes over a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, look, thank you. You've been really interesting chatting to you.
My pleasure.
What do you like to do outside of work?
So outside of work, I spend a lot of time with my family, friends.
Yeah.
And on my other time, I play snooker.
Snooker?
I love snooker. I play a lot of snooker. So yeah,
Are you good?
indoor game. Yeah, I do. I play.
Are you good?
Yeah. I think so.
Could you beat me?
We must try.
I'm from Yorkshire. We invented it. No,
So
I'm terrible at snooker.
that is something I enjoy on my off times. And
Have you been to the Crucible?
No, not yet.
Are you going to go?
I plan to go.
Yeah, it's a really good time party. I've
Yes.
never been, but I've got a few friends that are really into snooker, and they've been, and they loved
Really?
it. Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah.
Yes. That is something which I must.
Especially if Rocket Ronnie's playing a part.
All right.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Oh my God! I always watch him playing. I never saw him live, to be honest.
Yeah.
But man, he's my idol.
Yeah. So we might see. So could you go professional? Do you think?
No, not yet.
No.
No.
Oh, but you're aiming to. He said not yet.
Not yet.
Moving towards it.
It's too late for me, I believe.
No.
But
I think
yes,
it's one of those games you can play when you're like 80.
exactly.
It's quite easy. As long as you can get your leg over the
Yes,
table,
but
you're all right.
it's all about because snooker, I would say, is like addiction. I mean, the more you play, the more you want to play on it. So I try to control myself.
Yeah.
Okay, you play 2 hours, 3 hours, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because family, friends, and all those things.
Yeah.
And here, traffic takes a lot of time.
You know, it does, yeah. Does the wife get annoyed with you when you sneak off to the snooker?
Of course. So I have to treat her something with some chicken.
I'm just going to get some bread, love.
So
see you in an hour.
No, what I do is I order some nice food for her before.
Yeah.
So when the delivery arrives and she says, "So today you're gonna plan to play snooker with your friends," I was like, "How do you know?"
Where are you? The traffic's terrible. I just can't get home.
I'm just 2 miles away, but traffic shows me 16 minutes.
It's taking ages. I'm literally round the corner.
So these things, to be honest, are quite fun.
Yeah.
But having great time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you very much, Syed. That's brought us to the end. How did you find it?
Amazing. I couldn't. I mean, I feel like I just started.
I know. It's
And
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it, to be honest, it's a great time to be. I was discussing about this before. Like, I have been part of international experiences, conferences as speaker.
Yeah.
I love public speaking.
Yeah.
But when Ethan reached out to me for the podcast, I was like, that's something new, you know? And that's something, a great experience to come with. Yes, I was a bit nervous before not coming here, but I was like, okay, let's do it. It's always first time.
Yeah.
And you made it very easy, to be honest.
Oh,
thank you so much. You've been a great host.
No, thank you. I really
And
appreciate that.
it's been quite nice time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so
very
much. Thank you for having me here.
Is that right?
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, look, there we go. International Wear Many Hats. We've been to the Middle East. We found out everything about it. You're welcome. That's the end of another podcast. As ever, can't be good, be bad. Ta-da.